Y'all, we are going to take a little trip, do a little bit of history seeking. We got my son in the back seat, David. He's a veteran, served in the Marine Corps for 4 years. And we got the former admin of the channel, my wife over here. She just now found that out. Come with us on this little tour. Guys, there's part of our destination. It's called Twin Buttes. There is a documentary movie called Thof's Dragon. It's based on a true story back in the 1860s. Fort Wallace over here at Wallace, Kansas. And there was a captain that come out. And there was a plesiosaurus that was discovered right up in those buttes right there. I live about 10 miles from them buttes. It's kind of a fascinating deal. I'd encourage you, if you can find it on the internet, to go watch it. It's kind of a really, really neat story. We're talking back in the days of Custer and all those things. Here's our second little tidbit of information on our hysterical tour today. Back in the 1860s, this was actually a Mexican saloon where you would go visit the ladies of the night or of the day or of the afternoon or whichever the case may be. This is all that is left of this building here. It's kind of a neat little deal. Put your mindset back in those, those Western days of the horses and the buggies and the cowboys and the Indians and all those things, and imagine what stood here. And while we're on the military subject, David's going to kind of give you a little brief information on what he done in the military, where he went to, where he was deployed to. So David, it's all on you, man.
Well, when I joined the Marine Corps, I was trained in San Diego, or what other Marines would call us Hollywood Marines. And when all my training was said and done, I was stationed over in North Carolina. And I wouldn't really call myself, or whatever, me being deployed. For our training exercises, 3 times we went over to Yuma, Arizona for our desert training, and 1 time we went over to Norway. And my job was to basically set up communications. There's 4 or 5 different little branches for communications. And my job was basically IT. I handled with commands and prompts and all that type of stuff. But while I was in, I didn't really apply myself. I was the type of guy that would lift the equipment for us to basically set up communications.
So David, how's your military training and what you experienced while you were in the Marine Corps, what you did, what you didn't do, what you could have done, what you could not have done, what maybe you have done a little bit better, what you didn't do any better, has that applied to your current employment? As far as maybe making yourself work just a little bit extra harder?
Well, I'm sure, yeah. I believe with my MOS, it could potentially apply to anything. Just the word communication. I believe it could help anybody be more open about talking and stuff like that.
So David, do you have any helpful information that maybe there's a young guy that's, maybe he's a senior in high school, not really sure what he wants to do with his life, looking at the military. Do you have any helpful information for those individuals that might be watching this here video?
If you're a high schooler, explore all options. There's many different reasons of why to join the military. One, to serve one of the best countries in the world, for educational purposes. If you're a troubled kid, it can also help with mentally or physically. It can give you a purpose.
David, did you struggle with any disciplinary issues while you were in the Marine Corps? Or were you pretty much instructed before you got there?
I think beforehand it was.
So, and the reason I bring that up, because you did a interview while you were in Arizona with Uncle Leon, and one of the questions he asked you was, David, how did you deal with all the yelling and screaming going on? And remind our viewers what your answer was.
I think it went along the lines of something about my dad.
Yeah, I believe the answer was, and I will never forget it, is, no, it didn't bother me. I was pretty used to it. Not that I'm a bad parent, but sometimes your kid gets a little bit of a chewing out, and and they understand that, they deal with it, they go on. We're gonna kind of switch gears back, and we're gonna ask Tina what she knows about that building that we just visited. Maybe she has some information about it.
Rumor has it that Jesse James and the Dalton Gang spent time there. And when my oldest two boys were 12 and 13, I took them down here to what we refer to the Mexican whorehouse to see it and look around. Well, little did I know that Monday morning they were both going to go back and brag to their buddies that their mother took them to a whorehouse over the weekend. And I got a letter from the principal wanting to know what was going on with my parenting skills.
Moral of the story, guys, I've been in that same boat with one of my nephews who was playing at school with some scenarios, and I believe there's a video game called Grand Theft Auto, and they commenced to do various different things. It was nothing illegal. It was just a little bit of two kids playing at school, and even dear old Uncle Scott got called into the principal's office. So no matter how old you are, you may get called in. You just never know what's going to happen. Guys, thank you for your information. It's all been really cool. We will see you on our next stop at the tour. Guys, we are at the Fort Wallace Museum in Wallace, Kansas. If you're ever out this way, I would encourage you to stop and take a look at it. You can see right here, there's a statue of William Averill Comstock. Now, those of you that may not know, there was a contest between Buffalo Bill Cody and Mr. Comstock. And what would eventually make Buffalo Bill Cody famous shot more buffalo than Comstock. Shortly after that contest, Mr. Comstock ended up being killed by the Plains Indians. And you can see back here there is a historical marker, and it talks in about why Fort Wallace was here, what it pertained to, how long it was here, and what its purpose was. Really a lot of neat information out here in western Kansas. Well, guys, the last trip on our scenic tour today is the Fort Wallace Museum. Take a little video here of it. Good thing about videos is you should be able to stop and read it. They have all of the headstones over here. Make sure we go in the right direction. There's an old wives' tale about walking on somebody's grave brings you bad luck. So we'll make sure we get to going the right way. And you can see these headstones. It's kind of hard to tell a little bit. It's getting to be sunset. This Mr. Philip died of diphtheria, was actually from Chicago. And as you've seen on the sign, it's another diphtheria case. All these people were removed and taken to Fort Leavenworth. Pneumonia, epilepsy, typhoid, pneumonia. That's a gunshot wound. Consumption. This one was run over by, I think it says railroad car. Age 17. Let's see if we can maybe pick this sign up and set it back up there against that, David. My son being a former Marine and a veteran, he takes this stuff very seriously. Let's get her pushed in there and hopefully it'll stay up. Just don't be careful. You may just have to lean it up there against that then. So can we tell what? Pneumonia? Yep, this one was from pneumonia. This one was from dysentery. We got one back here. This individual was hung by a vigilance committee. Apparently he did something bad. Where I was born, Louisiana, gunshot wound. Another gunshot wound. This is really, the history side of things is what really fascinates me, guys. I truly, truly do like it. I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, but it's kind of some neat information out here. You know, again, we're in Wallace, Kansas, just a hop, skip, and a jump from Wallace, Kansas itself. Battle of Beecher's Island. It's all kind of neat information. We do have some modern headstones that maybe somebody has come in and maybe updated a headstone. So John and Lydia German, they were killed in 1874 in Logan County. Again, guys, really, really neat information here. And we'll go down to the end and turn around and we'll kind of see if we can't catch what this one is. Maybe some of you guys that are reading these, sorry, my video work is still to be desired. This one is from Ireland. Maybe it's somebody you know. Somebody you're related to that you didn't know. Go around the corner and walk down this aisle. We'll take a trip this way. See if we can see what's going on here. Edward Jeffers. Just kind of a neat little monument there. You know, again, guys, this is all from Fort Wallace here. These individuals were relocated, the soldiers, to Fort Leavenworth. take a look at this building over here and see if they have a monument inside. And this is my first trip here. I've known my wife for 20 years. First time I've ever been here. This was erected in 1867. This is a commemorative post, I believe. H Troop and U.S. Cavalry, E Company, in memory of the soldiers killed in, kind of hard to see what that says. Killed in action, maybe. Again, guys, if you're out here in Western Kansas, you could come to Wallace, Kansas, right on Highway 40. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Colorado line. This Highway 40 does lead up to Interstate 70. It's just some neat stuff to see. We had a good vacation tour to come see this. Not too far from here, probably 90, 100 miles, is a town called Oberlin, where the last Indian raid took place in Kansas. There's a big museum there, and that cemetery has stuff that's documented up there too. It's just some really, really neat information if you're into that historical kind of stuff. We're gonna close this video out for the day on a really fantastic sunset on one side, good old Western Kansas, and a full moon on the other. Good night, y'all.